Oh, see, now it's saying it's live. I can't tell if I'm live or not. It's telling me I have a poor network connection and I can't make a video. And it's telling me I'm live. I think we're going to go with we are. How do I do this? I don't know. This is funny. Well, we're going to try to figure it out. Hi. Thank you all for joining me. I'm Heather Peterson Lockhart, and I just thought I would pop on here and chat this evening. So, by the way, learning lesson to self. Next time I do one of these live things, I'm just going to get on here and tell you I'm here when I'm here. It is challenging for me to make it always seems like there's some sort of like connective issue or some sort of whatever, and then I'm not here when I say I'm going to be, which I don't really like. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to wizard my words and make it proper, but I don't like not being here exactly when I say I'm going to. So, let's see here. The first thing I want to do, yes, I'm live. Thank you. And I guess I could do this. But see, if I pay too much attention to this, then I won't remember what I'm saying. So I will, I love you all. I thank you for joining me. And I'm going to try to focus on what I want to share, because that's usually challenge enough for me. So all the other bells and whistles going on the screen are just like, stimulus sensory overload for me. You know what I mean? I wish I could almost like, yeah. That's awesome. By the way, for those of you who have not watched me live or met me before, I totally just say what's up and what's going on, and I don't care if I meet one of those awkward, inopportune moments where I don't know what to say or what it's like. So it is what it is. But the first thing I want to do is take a second with each of you that's here with me, and for all of those who watch this broadcast later, and to take a second and to consciously connect with ourselves, with a higher power, a God of our understanding, whatever words you want to use, and to each other as a group, because we are powerful, more powerful in the collective, in the group, than we are as the individual. Each of us comes with a powerhouse of gifts and connections and abilities, and when we hook up together in conscious connection, we're able to bring all that to the table, like a web of connection and wisdom and ability and healing and all the good stuff. So if you would join me for a second and just consciously take the time to connect. And we connect in a quantum sense. So those that watch this at this moment, that we do this together, we will be connecting. Those that watch this in the future, we will be connecting. I want to start talking about some of these concepts and making them more normal and mainstay for some of us who are completely unfamiliar, and bring that ability to be and heal more mainstream for each of us. So if you would, I like to take my left hand and put it on my heart, so I can feel my heartbeat. If you're left-handed, take your right hand. Your non-dominant hand is going to be a little more sensitive. Put your other hand on top of it. Close your eyes and take a big breath. Feel your chest rise. And exhale. Let's do it again. Exhale through the mouth. One more. Ready, into the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And say, I am a beautiful child of God, and the world is a safe place for me today. And that right there makes you feel good. I did not even say good evening and I love you. For those who have not heard that today, that is important for you to hear that. I love you. I do. Okay, so on Easter, I stopped at a gas station and I had my purse stolen and my phone was inside it. And I had a buttload of information on my phone. And this process that was like chaotic brought me a bounty of gifts. And so that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. In order to bring it all full circle, I have to go back to well, this process, like processing this little experience has given me a multitude of lessons. And so if I go back to ever since I can remember, I am the terms we use are, I'm what's called a clairsentient, intuitive empath. The truth is, I am exactly what each human can be. And we are all, and some are way more than me. We all have the capabilities to be intuitive. We all have the capabilities to be clairsentient, to be clairaudient. We all have the abilities to be empathic. It's called being connected to our innate being and connected to the environment that hosts our lives. You know, much like the animal kingdom. They don't, you don't say like, wow, that's a really tuned in animal. Like, you know, animals know not to approach some other animals because they know that they don't have to ask them like, hey, are you an animal that eats me? They feel it. They know it. And we don't give them labels. We're not like, oh, that right there is a clairaudient animal. That's a clairsentient animal. It's just it's a tuned in animal, right? So I came tuned in ways that I was able to experience, and I understood on a level and the way that like they happened to me, but I didn't know how to really articulate a lot of them. I could see things in a sort of way, or understand things in a sort of way, or feel things in a sort of way that I couldn't put words to, and that didn't always match up to what I saw going on around me. I have shared often before that I would encounter adults when I was younger that would say one thing or speak one thing, but I could feel that that's not what was going on in their heart. And I learned real early that it probably wasn't a really good idea to say that out loud, to say, no, that's not what you think, that's not what you feel, because it wasn't really taken well, you know, it wasn't really appreciated. And so I was able to observe things. Oh, in fact, I had a list. Where's my little list? Dang it. I made a list to share with you. I made a list of ways that that were examples on I don't even know what to call it. It's not a behavior. It's more like parts of human interaction that I could feel, okay? Like when I mean, like, I'll give you easy examples that we know. All of us, when we walk into a room, if two people have been fighting, most of us can pick it up. We can feel that, right? I can feel when a person's reading a book, not on like a Nook or a tablet, but when they're reading a book, there's a conscious cognitive process that the human is involved in that I can feel. I can feel around them, like a creative process, right? When I was young, when we would ask, oh, you know, who are you married? Do you have kids or whatever? We all kept pictures of our family in our wallet. We carried actual photographs, right? And so we would take out the photograph. There was a cognitive process that happened when we looked at the photograph and when we showed the photograph to others, and we said, oh, that's your family, it's so beautiful. And now we don't do that. We don't do that process at all. It's all on social media, right? I started to notice as I got older that process was lacking, and that it was different when we walked into people's homes and the fridges weren't the same. We always put pictures on the fridge, remember? And I knew that I was aware of other living things when others wouldn't be, you know, like sitting in a garden or something and you see a bird or whatever, right? So I was able to to see examples where I was able to observe a process that not everyone was observing, and because of that, I had a hard time articulating it, and I was getting frustrated in the way that it was challenging for me to. Well, it's tough to explain something. It would be tough to explain Wi-Fi to someone who'd never had a computer, right? So in that, I started looking into scientific processes that could explain what I was doing, basically working in the electromagnetic field. And I came across Dr. Jerry Tennant's work, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and many others who have machines that they can prove on their they can observe on their machines what I could do with my consciousness, right? So now let me take you back to driving home. Okay, so I lose my phone. I'm at the gas station, and I stop on Easter. I had made dinner and brought it down to my daughter and her boyfriend, Easter dinner. So I dropped off dinner, and on the way home, I stopped at a gas station, and I left my window open enough that it was not hard to get in my car. And I guess the young people that got in my car probably did this rather opportunistically and quickly, and I imagine it wasn't the first time, and they were really fast. In fact, I'm stuttering because I was almost embarrassed I was embarrassed because, I spent 13 years outside of DC. I know how to secure my car. I know not to walk up to a gas station and leave crap open. But to be honest, I was more concerned about my person, and I was thinking about having my hands free. And so I had taken one card out of my wallet and put it into my pocket, and I left my purse and my phone and everything in the car. And I locked the car, but I left the window. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the window was open enough to get in the car. So I was so focused on the surroundings, because there was a lot of people hanging around outside the gas station and stuff, that when I walked in, I hadn't observed what gas pump I was on. So I walked into the gas station, and I hadn't even been there like 30 seconds, and I popped back out to see what the number of the gas pump I was on was, and my car doors open, and I was like, what the fuck? And I asked the people, there was a few people, hanging out in front of the gas station, and I was like, who took my purse? Who jacked my purse? And they were like, oh man, it's the little young motherfuckers running down the street right there. I was like, my first instinct, honestly, was to chase them. And I was like, you can't do that. Don't be stupid. And so I was just like, wow, man, that's some shit, What are you going to do? So the man in the who owned the gas station, he let me use his cell phone. But it was after hours, and there was no representative for my phone company there to shut off my phone, or go get my phone, or do anything, or there was no representative from PayPal, from anybody that I needed to, quote unquote, secure accounts, identity, whatever. Since that they had my phone, there was no way to secure my social media accounts, because everything is backed up to my email that was on the phone and my phone number that was on there. So that was concerning to me, when someone has, it was a new kind of interesting. I have always thought about fraud in terms of someone jacking your social security number, your identity or whatever, and running up your bank accounts and stuff like that. But what about someone taking your social media accounts and putting inappropriate things on your social media accounts, or pretending they're you or whatever, right? I was like, oh, not cool. So anyway, fortunately, I had bought gas, and like I said, taking a card out to buy gas, so I was okay to get home. But I filed I called the police, and the police officer came, and bless his heart, I walked up to him, and I was really vulnerable, because, well, I felt like a tool. I felt like a tool that I had um, left an opportunity to rob me. And then as I spoke with him, I was starting to like really process the fact that like I didn't know how to get home without my GPS. I didn't have I don't have a map in my car. The people's numbers I have memorized don't live in this state. And I had just been at my daughter's house that like was like, I don't know, 6 blocks that way and then 2 blocks again that way. And then I think 1 block to the left. I think I could get myself back, but I'm not exactly positive. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't have a number memorized because I use my cell phone. So I was feeling really like I was feeling like the world was spinning around me a little bit. Like it was really surreal. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, whoa, just because I don't have my phone, like I literally can't figure it the fuck out. Like, are you kidding me? And so the police officer, I was like, can you get me to the highway? Like, not can you give me directions to the highway? Because if I can't get there, and I get lost, I can't call you. I can't call you and say, can you help me? And I don't know where I am. So can you take me to the highway so I can get home, please? And at that point, I was crying, you know, and I said to him, I was like, yo, man, I'm 43 years old and I feel like a 7-year-old. Like I feel incapable and I'm really not, you know, and I qualify that. I felt not incapable. I am a highly resourceful human being. I felt like it was a bright spotlight on the fact that I was using my phone for a whole lot of stuff and I was lacking some tools. So on the drive home, things were weird. It was weird. I got in the car. I got on the highway, and then I knew where I knew once I got on the highway, I knew where I was. I was driving on the highway, and I had this terrible feeling. Like, the best way I can put it into words is it was like I had left one of my children behind or something. Like, it was horrible. It was like something was really wrong and lacking and missing, and it almost hurt. Like it hurt in a visceral sense, and I was like aware of it, and that's why I gave you guys the little list earlier about some of the connections I'm able to observe. So I was aware of this wasn't just I'm frazzled, I don't have my phone, because I stopped. Let me pause for a sec. I have recovered from alcoholism, addiction, bulimia, anorexia, hating myself, hating everyone else, waking up unable to breathe, putting myself in toxic situations and relationships. The list goes on and on. Okay? My point is, when I become aware of a prison within, and it might take a long time. They're all different. You know what I mean? But the second I become aware of it, I try to hone in on it so that I can start to discern and decipher. And so this weird foreign feeling was like glaring at me, and I was really paying attention to it. So I was like, let's break this down. Okay, it's not about you being afraid to get home. It's not about that. Like, you know how to get home now. This is something different. This is like, I mean, it was like I was missing my friend. There was this very weird attachment to my phone. It wasn't, I've been trying really hard for days to figure out the words for these things. It wasn't just, of course, the phone. It was the life that was within it. So by the time I got home, all the passwords on all my accounts had been changed. I had been logged out of my social media, and a couple of my accounts were compromised. and a couple were gone. And whoever was online, well, the person that was online changing my passwords had my phone. So as the passwords were reset, they were able to reset them faster because they were getting the confirmation codes texted to my phone, right? So they were going back and forth faster than I was able to reset them, and we did this for a period of hours, and then I just turned it over, and I was like, that's it, you know? I'm done. So, so then I have this break where I don't have my phone, and I'm not plugged into my social media, and I can't be, you know, I can't be. And so I become like, I start seeing things. I start feeling things that I don't experience when I have my phone. And in doing that, I become acutely aware of how much of my focus, my energy, my time, the phone takes up. The phone and the activities conducted within it. And I start asking myself, like how much do I feed, and how much am I getting fed? You know, how much of my life am I conducting for a broadcast? You know, how much of my experience am I experiencing, knowing I'm gonna take a photo of it, and it's gonna hopefully be the best perfect photo, and then I'm gonna post it to social media. Like, how much of it is really both feet in the experience? Yes, I'm here, all in, paying attention. And how much is like, yes, I'm here, but is this my best side? Because we're going to take a picture in a minute. You know what I mean? And then, you know, when you're locked out of, when you don't have a Google account, when you don't have a Gmail account, you don't have access to Google. Okay? Who the fuck has a phone book anymore? So, no Google, no phone book, and no numbers memorized. Isn't that awesome? And it was just like, it was like being totally cut off. And then I was like, from what though? From what? Because when I was like, needed some help, or, I mean, I was all right, but if I needed anything, what good was that phone? You know what I mean? Like, what I needed was the community around me, the connections around me, the local numbers memorized, the knowledge of how to get home. Some more immediate, boots on the ground, basic shit. Right? And it was an audacious eye-opener. It was a beautiful, audacious eye-opener. For me personally, there is, this is tough, and I want to really choose my words carefully, because I'm not quite sure how to express all this yet, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know, let me say this, so maybe this will say it better. For those who use Photoshop, let's say this. Okay, when we see a photograph, we see a photo and we have no idea if the photo, I mean, unless it's clearly edited, you know what I mean? Unless it has like graphics on it or flying dragons or something like that. We don't necessarily know if it's been Photoshopped. You know, like if someone just like brightened the whites of their eyes and the whites of their teeth, or Photoshopped the spot out on the shirt or something like that. We might not know, right? We see the photo and we take it for what it's worth. And we pretty much trust it's the truth. Go with my analogy here, right? Now, for those that work with Photoshop or who work with editing programs, you're familiar with the fact that you can apply layers. You can apply layers on a photograph that change things just slightly, ever so slightly. And you don't really notice once you get those layers on there. You can click the little icon, the eye icon, and and you can make the layer pop off or reapply, right? But once they're all composited together, we just see this whole little, we see the whole little presentation, the final photograph. And again, unless it's some drastic edit, we don't really know it's been edited. That's how it felt. It felt like I came home and I was watching life in a different way, minus the layers. The filters weren't there. Like, there's so much connection online for me. I'm speaking for me personally. So much connection online. And it's beautiful. And it's real. And for me, it's been grown organically. And yet, with all due respect, if I'm stuck up the street, except for the local ones, what does that help me? What I started to see is I am in my community. I have my feet on the ground every day, literally and figuratively. And yet, there's a huge part of my energetic being that feels connected and nurtured and present because of, and solely because of, my online connections and community. Now, for me, if that's properly tempered and balanced with my tangible physical community, then that's probably a good thing. If it's not, I might have an imbalance. And I decided I did. There's another thing that factored in here. For a short time, I recovered one of my accounts. I don't want to give too much information on this for obvious reasons. For a short time, I recovered one of my accounts, and in that account, the person who took my phone had sent messages to their friends. So I messaged some of those people back, asking where they were and if they mind if I came by. Classic Heather. So when they got the account back, I'm pretty sure that they were kind of like, maybe this isn't a good idea, you know? But anyway, before I did that, I went through all the messages and I determined that a young person had taken my phone because they were messaging their friends about how I told you I had more followers than you do. Now, this person did not steal money from me. This person did not steal per se, other than, well, the contents of my purse, but I mean through any of my accounts on online. They jacked my social media accounts and took the time to delete over 4,000 posts one at a time. It took days. In fact, that's why I thought it was weird to begin with, because I was watching, well, I guess I just gave you the information I wasn't going to give you. There you have it. I was watching the account disappear, and I was thinking, that's weird. If someone just deleted my account, you know, like wiped out my social media, then they would just be gone. Wouldn't it? Isn't it weird that it would take a while? And that's what happened. They wanted to keep the following. So I was paying attention to the fact that this young person, not that I wanted someone to steal money from me, but you would think someone, if they're going to steal, they're like more about the money than they are the social media following. But apparently the social media following was really important. And the want to be liked, accepted, and received by others, in front of others, struck a chord within me. And I just thought, I don't know what I thought. I don't know. It touched me. It touched me that that's what was important to him. And so I messaged him. Good day and I love you. And I would like my account back. It's how I provide for my family. And I had a conversation with this young man, and I think I should be careful about how much I say about that. Let me just say this. The young man is a young man, and it seemed really important to him that other people think he's cool. And that's been the story of my life. That other people think I'm cool. That other people love me, and that I'm received well. And I put all this together, you know, and I realized that, like, you really only need to be received so much by others and validated so much by others and liked so much by others when you're not doing it enough for yourself. When there's that, I've always said we all have a God-sized hole and we're all trying to shovel different shit in it, which never surmounts or amounts to anything until we put God in it. And so this boy's actions, number one, unplugged me enough to plug in a different way than I'd been plugged in for a while. It gave me a chance to reassess my priorities, my energy, my time, my connections, my true connections. You know, if we all lose our phones tomorrow, how many of you know your neighbors? How many have a community that they can make sure that everyone's fed within 24 hours? You know, we think we're so connected because we're so plugged in on here. But truly, how many of us are? And this beautiful young man's behavior gave me opportunity to see where I need some realignment. And I will also tell you that I had opportunity to speak with him, and I told him much about my past. And I told him I loved him, and I was able to give and receive love in that exchange. And he was too. That's the way it works, you know, when you give and receive. If you're giving and receiving, it means you must be plugged into another, connected in a circuit. Otherwise, you would just give or just receive. And so, I don't know how much, like, I don't know how much I can say about all of that, because I don't think that things are concluded with that business. But I don't know. Anyway, all of this beautiful process gave me the opportunity to come full circle on a few things and realize that I need to get back to basics on a few of my approaches. Like I said, I have my feet on the ground, and I know my community, and I'm very active in my community. But I can't say that, you know, I live in the community that's thriving as I desire, and there's always action to be taken. And so I'm reassessing how I show up for my community and how I'm available to those around me. I'm also going to put a map in my car and learn some phone numbers. But this is a reaffirmation for me, because we're all, at least, like I said, I should just speak for myself. I engage in a process on here that is you know, when in proper alignment, it's very beneficial. And when not, you know, it's easy to get out of whack. It's easy to get kind of one two way or the other. And I was really I'm just really grateful. I mean, honestly, when my new phone came, I wasn't even quite sure I wanted to plug it in. I was kind of like, you know, I kind of like the offline life. And then I missed everybody on here so much. And then I missed everyone on here, because I have genuine, true connections on here, and I have genuine, true friendships, and I love, love, love what we learn and what we share on here. So, you know, it's I guess it's like everything else. It's a balance in life. But I just wanted to share that. I'm struggling here, because what I really wanted to say is I will be meeting with this young man, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I hold no ill will towards him. I feel like I owe him a gratitude, because, like I said, his actions created an opportunity for me to unplug enough to plug in a different way, to feel something that I could not with that phone running my life. I'm doing things with it differently now. You know, what's funny is I'm not a phone-driven person. And that's what's kind of scary. I'm actually not. Those who try to call me and text me know that. But even when, like, you know, just responding to notifications and stuff can be quite time consuming. And it, of course, is an energetic engagement for me, because it's a real connection on here with each of you. So, I'm getting back to basics. I don't really have a sum up. I just wanted to share that I think we need to meet our neighbors. I think we need to get back to some of the fundamentally human forms of connection that we have forgotten about. I mean, like, some people go through a whole day and they don't even touch anyone. Multiple days in a row. That's a whole nother topic. I'll go off on that one another day. But I just wanted to say, with all of that, I'm going to change my focus from the chiefess, and I'm just going to focus on Heather for a while. I really want to focus on who Heather is when she's just trying to live and participate. I've been a leader ever since I was little. I'm sure I always will be. Some of us just inherently are. But I want to focus less on leading and more on living, and learning more about what really powers me and makes me feel good and pretty and strong and validated and beautiful all by myself, minus the likes and the views and the hearts. I will still be here, of course. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's a different way to experience each experience. And I'm choosing to shift some of the focus and my ways of being. Gratefully so. So, I will have this whole little shindig has shifted a lot of things for me. I've had a lot of shifts in the last few weeks of my life, and so I'm really going back to basics in a lot of the ways that I conduct my own life, and with those I coach and work with, and in my community. I am opening my services up back more to my immediate physical community, which I haven't done in quite a long time. I've been focusing majority online. So it will be nice for me to have a more balanced physical community with my online community. I'm really grateful for this. And I'm excited to share the new ways in which I will be sharing with you all. Because, you know, there are ways in which we can connect with ourselves and, again, a God of our understanding and our surroundings, and we can regularly implement healing and well-being and good energy, and we can feel better, we can live better. Each of us can take simple steps to do that each and every day for free. So why not, right? So thank you for joining me, and I will look forward to joining you all again on one of these live deals, and I'll get a little more organized accordingly. So I thank you so much. I will go through these comments and respond accordingly. And if you guys have questions or you want to work with me in any way, I'm doing training, I'm doing nutrition, I do guided meditations, I do all kind of energetic healing. You can go to www.thechiefess.com, or you can send me an email at iamchiefess@gmail.com. So thank you for joining me. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I will see you again.